What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers? You're probably wondering why I rolled out of bed this morning to make this video. I know it's a little bit of a departure from our normal content, but a lot of you guys have been asking me to talk about this, and honestly, after reading this bill, I feel like I kinda have to. I'm talking, of course, about the new bill that was introduced called HR 127. This bill, of course, brought to you by our old friend, 2 Boxes Sheila Jackson Lee.
I've held an AR-15 in my hand. I wish I had it. It is as heavy as 10 boxes that you might be moving.
You know, Congress's resident firearms expert. I'm going to try to make this video as apolitical as I can without having a brain bleed, and just try to go over the facts with you guys. We're going to get really pretty deep in the weeds of the actual text of the bill, but before we do, a quick shout out to the guys who help us pay the bills.
What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over some of the cool stuff that you could expect if you subscribe to the Big D Bag. Quick light fire starters, a hatchet, a magnesium striker, old school manual chainsaw, quick cord storage pack, and a field sewing kit. And if you sign up for the Big D Bag now using the code AKGuy, you get this $250 knife for free. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now.
Now, the scary part about this bill is that I've seen a lot of relative moderates coming out saying that they don't think a lot of it is a bad idea. They're referring, of course, to the registration part, the background checks, psych evaluations, things like that. You know, a lot of that stuff is kind of easier to stomach than full-on assault weapons ban, carry restrictions, magazine restrictions, stuff like that, at least to the moderate. What they're not taking into account is a lot of the finer details that, honestly, I was unaware of until this morning, and that's why I decided to do this video. So some of this I'm going to be reading directly from the bill itself, and some of this I'm going to be reading from the Firearm Policy Coalition's breakdown of the bill. The Firearm Policy Coalition is not a sponsor of the channel, but we are a supporter of them, so if you want to check them out, I'm going to go ahead and put this summary in the link in the description. Bill US HR 127. Gun licensing, registration, and partial ammo ban. Position: strongly opposed. Summary: establishes a nationwide gun registry that is searchable by the general public, mandates licensing to own or possess a firearm, and requires a psychological evaluation prior to obtaining such a license, and institutes magazine and gun bans. Now, for those of you who might be a little bit new to the gun control debate, or a lot of Europeans who really just don't understand the hesitation on some of this stuff, let me break down why people like me oppose gun registration. On the outside, I could see how a moderate would love the idea of, you know, psych evals, gun registration, let's find out who's got all the guns, and that way, you know, things are easier if somebody does something wrong. The problem is, it never ends there. Just like the bump stock ban. What percentage of slide fire stocks that were sold in the US do you think got turned in? No idea. It's not possible to know. And that's kind of the point. However, if all of them were registered ahead of time and forced to be registered as they were sold, you have a much better idea, and basically it allows for the enforcement of this to be actually even physically possible. TLDR, the government doesn't want to know where your shit is unless they're thinking about taking your shit at a later date. What's even worse that the FPC points out that I didn't even think of is that being searchable by the general public means that your data is available to be viewed by the public just because you're a firearm owner. Because, you know, we've seen anti-gunners before. They won't stoop to the level of doxing and harassing the shit out of people they don't agree with. No, never happened. Also, if you're a criminal looking for a pretty good score, you know where the guns are now. But this stuff is like barely scratching the surface. This isn't even like what I'm truly worried about. So jumping over to the text of the bill here real quick. There'd be all sorts of different types of firearms license. There'd be a general license, which is just a license you'd need for owning a gun. There would be an antique firearm display license. I don't know if that would be easier to get, or I don't know why the distinction. And a military style weapons license. No, what does military style mean in this case? Well, let's look into this. The term military style weapon means A, any of the firearms or copies or duplicates of the firearms in any caliber known as, right up the bat, Norinco, Mitchell, and Polytechnology's Automat Kalashnikovs, all models. The fuck is a Mitchell? I've literally never heard of that. I love all the AKs they could have specified, you know, Wassers, Saigas, the ones that you actually see, and then there's... I've never heard of a Mitchell.
A few moments later.
Okay, so apparently it was a small company in like the 80s and 90s that did AK import. I've never heard of this. Anyway, they list all sorts of stuff. Uzis, Galils, AR-15s, FALs, Steyr AUG, revolving cylinder shotguns, such as or similar to the Street Sweeper and Striker 12, because, you know, we've seen the action movies in the 80s, and those are scary. Now, why the fuck a revolving cylinder shotgun is scarier than a regular semi-automatic tube-fed shotgun with the same capacity is fucking beyond me. It is straight up. Oh god, no, it's the whole, like, this is the meme. This is like a parody of a gun bill. It's like, dude, it looks scary, so it is. A semi-automatic rifle that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine and has at least two of the following, I suppose. A folding or telescoping stock, pistol grip that protrudes conspicuously beneath the action of the weapon, bayonet mount, a flash suppressor or threaded barrel designed to accommodate a flash suppressor, and a grenade launcher. I swear to God, grenade launcher is a separate line item. How much do you want to bet they actually think you can go out and buy a grenade launcher without the destructive device licensing and stuff like that? But, you know, Oh, let's keep reading. A semi-automatic pistol. So we're going to pistols now. It's an assault weapon. It's not assault rifles, after all. A semi-automatic pistol that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine and has at least two of. An ammunition magazine that attaches to the pistol outside the pistol grip. Why the fuck does that matter? 20-round magazine in the pistol grip versus 20-round magazine in front of the pistol grip. What the fuck are these people on? A threaded barrel capable of accepting a barrel extender. A barrel extender? Flash suppressor. Forward hand grip or silencer. Forward hand grip. A threaded barrel capable of forward hand. Okay, all right. A shroud that is attached to or partially or completely encircles the barrel and permits the shooter to hold the firearm with the non-trigger hand without being burned. Because, you know, ergonomics are scary too. We're cool with you going Modern Warfare 2, no rushing on a crowd, but you have to be able to burn your hand while you do it. A manufactured weight of 50 ounces or more when the pistol is unloaded. Who fucking cares? And a semi-automatic version of an automatic firearm. What the fuck does that mean? So are Glocks now assault pistols because the Glock 18 is full auto? A semi-automatic shotgun that has at least two of a folding or telescoping stock, a pistol grip, fixed magazine capacity in excess of 5 rounds, or the ability to accept a detachable magazine. That's pretty all-inclusive. This is basically California gun laws here. Even still, not the worst part. Here's the part that almost made me throw up my breakfast, which consisted of oatmeal and bourbon. Needless to say, it wasn't pretty coming up. Anyway, this is what should scare the fuck out of all of you. Prohibitions and penalties. Section 922 of such title is amended by adding at the end the following. It shall be unlawful for a person to possess a firearm or ammunition unless the person is carrying a valid license issued under Section 932C1. So you can't have a firearm without a license. It is unlawful. Not just assault weapons. This is the general firearm license. Assault weapons. You know what I mean? In the case that the firearm is owned by the person, the firearm is registered to that person, or in the case of the firearm owned by another person, the firearm is registered to such other person, and such other person has notified the Attorney General that the firearm has been loaned to the person, and the possession is during the loan period specified in the notice. Fucking crazy. Let's get to the scary part. Whoever knowingly violates Section 922AA, is what we just read, shall be fined not less than $75,000 and not more than $150,000. Imprisoned not less than 15 years and not more than 25 years, or both. Meaning that having a firearm without a license and getting caught without a license will put you in jail potentially for longer than if you committed armed burglary with said firearm. Whoever knowingly violates Section 922BB1, that was the thing about if it's owned by another person and they loan it to you or whatever, and you know they don't notify the proper authorities, shall be fined not less than $50,000 and not more than $75,000, imprisoned not less than 10 years and not more than 15 years, or both. Just going to go ahead and put it out there that the average sentence served for rape is about 9.8 years. It's also worth noting there's no grandfathering. Meaning, just because you bought it before this bill took effect, it means jack shit. You own a firearm and didn't tell Uncle Sam about it, you're going to jail for not less than 15 years. Oh, and on top of the things that is banned by this bill, 50 caliber ammunition is on the chopping block, and a large capacity ammunition feeding device, magazine, belt, drum, similar device that has a capacity of, or that can be readily restored to converted to accept more than 10 rounds of ammunition. Oh, but they let us keep 22s. Woo! Jesus Christ. The penalty for having 50 caliber ammunition will be fined not less than $50,000 and not more than $100,000, and imprisoned not less than 10 years and not more than 20 years for having 50 caliber ammunition. This is fucking ridiculous. Like, this... I knew this was going to be coming, but I didn't know it would look like this. So I guess that's partially why I'm making this video, is that certain things within this bill sound pretty benign if you just read the headlines. But if you dive deep into the weeds, this bill is putting it politely, a clusterfuck. And frankly, if you think the American people are going to comply with this, you're off your fucking rocker. So if you want to preserve your firearm rights and the rights of your children and your children's children to be able to own guns in this country, and if you ever want to see the AK-50 happen, go ahead and support groups like the Firearm Policy Coalition, Gun Owners of America. We really need to rally behind stopping this. I don't know if this is going to go anywhere. This may not even be officially presented. It may not get out of committee. I hope that's the case. But, well, for everyone who was shouting at election time that Republicans are just as anti-gun as Democrats, how are you feeling about that? Anyhow, guys, I know this is kind of a departure from our normal content. I'm usually the haha funny, gun meme review guy, and we like to have fun on the channel and whatnot, but this felt like something that, I don't know, at least I felt like needed to be talked about. More of the lighthearted stuff coming soon. We got a couple videos coming out for you guys that I'm excited for. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you can join our hashtag AKG notification squad. I love you guys. And as always, I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks.
Fuel is my obsession to make the perfect weapon, like Rasputin's rise to the top.
Just like during the bump stock ban. I think Colorado had, just like the bump stock ban. What percentage of a shroud that is attached to or partially completely, God damn it. It shall be unlawful for a person to possess, Sean Connery, possess a firearm